Hey, thanks for joining us. My name is Matt Hastings, and with me is Hunter Steinmetz. This podcast is a ministry of Hermitage Church of the Nazarene. Kind of came out of some ideas and some interesting conversations. And so we just thought we would, jump in this world of maybe being the first people on the planet to do a podcast.
Yeah, no one's ever done one before, so we
Right.
wanted to be fresh and new. Yeah.
It was a great brand new idea. But seriously, let's talk about what prompted the idea for it. Like, how did that? Do you remember that those conversations? It was you and me talking about why, what is happening in our denomination.
Yeah, I think and by the way, you'll never hear from me ever again, but I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the microphones, I guess. But we wanted to participate in something that could give life to the church that is currently, I mean, we can just name the fact that a lot of American political culture has seeped into the church, and we don't really listen well anymore. We know people by their names and what people have told us about them, and even in the Nazarene Church, people are, there's different factions that are fighting for power, and so we wanted to create something that would be a gift to
Right.
the denomination to help
Yeah,
relieve some of that
and
pressure.
really, yeah, I think instead of the divisive or the arguing, the bully pulpit, or even just ideologies, hearing people's stories, uh, I think especially when since we work together, when we hear about people, it's surprising when you hear their story. You might have drawn a conclusion about that person. I think that's true in our denomination of Nazarene clergy. You kind of know what they're against rather than what they're for. And so the idea, I think, of just saying, what if we just hear their stories? Um, but then the piece of it that I think is really interesting, and that I hope that listeners will find interesting as well, is the veiling their identities. What about that? You remember that conversation? We were in my office talking about it, and we wanted to share their stories. We had names of people, but then it was this turn of, what if we didn't tell them right up the bat?
Yeah, I think people would listen with a certain ear if they knew who they were listening to before they listened. And so we wanted the podcast to achieve um, basically that we would hear people's story and let that be what shapes our view of someone rather than what we have already heard about them. And so really the only way to do that is to invite people to tell their story, and then we tell them who they are, tell the audience who the guest is at the end
At
of
the
the
end,
episode, which
yeah.
makes it a very difficult, the producing side of things. But it's kind of a fun gimmick in some ways, but also is super intentional. That we hope that maybe the things that you have heard about people is different than the story that they tell you, and that we have to wrestle with that.
Right. You will you'll likely recognize some voices right from the very beginning. I'm sure that some of you, and you listen, you'll hear, but there are voices and of people that you might not know, and so we really hope that you'll listen with an open mind and open heart as you hear the stories of the people who serve in the Church of the Nazarene, and you hear their stories. We are grateful to have this chance to share it with you, and we hope that you will listen.
And we strive to have people from different age groups, different races, different areas of leadership in the church, different geographical areas, that you will eventually that will introduce you to people who you may not know because of they're not the people that you have run into. So there will be um, names that get lots of notoriety
Hmm.
in Nazarene circles, and then others who are just faithful, good pastors
Yeah,
in local churches that we hope to get to share their story to you too.
I think one of the most unique things is everyone's story is so fascinating,
Yeah.
and we know that you will enjoy it too.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We're excited for this project, and we hope that it is a gift to you as it has been a gift to us.
Yeah, thanks.